चैनल पंजाबी वेखते व्यूअर्स ਦਾ ਸਵਾਗਤ ਹੈ ਆਰ ਟਾਈਮ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਵਿੱਚ ਮੈਂ ਹਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਆਪਣੀ ਸੁੱਖੀ ਤੇ ਅੱਜ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਗੱਲ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਰਾਉਣੀ ਆ Kiran Raina also known as K-Ray ਜੋ ਕਿ YouTube personality ਆ ਤੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਾਫੀ ਸ਼ਾਰਟ ਫਿਲਮਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹਿੱਸਾ ਲਿਆ ਆ ਸੋ ਆਓ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਮੁਲਾਕਾਤ ਕਰਾਈਏ Kiran ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ ਜੀ ਆਇਆਂ ਨੂੰ
Thank you.
So tell me K-Ray where does this name come from ਇਹ ਕਿੱਥੋਂ ਨਾ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਆਇਆ
Kiran Rai is my actual name, but my friends are always calling me different names. One of my friends in high school just called me K-Ray. She's like, if you become something, maybe that should be your name. And I was like, oh, okay. And it just stuck for so many years now.
That's great, great. So did you ever think that you would become such, you know, a personality in social media? Did you ever think that it would go as far as what it's come to now?
When I was younger, when I was like, as cliche as it sounds, when I was like 5, I always wanted to be an actor.
You always wanted to? Okay.
But I just thought it wasn't realistic or anything because all my friends were like, no, like you have to be a doctor, engineer, lawyer, like Justine was saying. And I just feel like for me, that's not what I wanted. And I know that wasn't what I was going for, but I really, really wanted to do acting. And when I saw that now YouTube is becoming a new way of people really putting their work out there, I decided to use that as my opportunity to really put my work.
That's great. So that's how you first started, was your YouTube vlogging. So what inspired you to do that? Just out of the blue, you decided one day?
I always wanted to use YouTube as an outlet, but I knew that, especially being a Punjabi girl, who's going to really hire me to be on their show? Or like, you know, our faces aren't really out there, especially in mainstream media. So I decided that I'm going to create my own content. I went to film school and learned how to film myself, and also went to acting school. And then I was just like, I'm not going to wait for opportunities. I'm going to make my own opportunities.
Make your own.
Exactly. And then I just started putting them on YouTube, and then I got a really good response.
Great. So YouTube, what content did you present on YouTube? What is it that you do on YouTube?
Initially, it was vlogs, and I'm doing vlogs right now as well, where I'm just like filming my day-to-day life. So a lot of people like my lifestyle, I guess. And I usually vlog that, where especially when I'm traveling and stuff. Like I'm in Vancouver right now.
Exactly. So a lot of vlogs about Vancouver, right?
Exactly. So I'm usually vlogging, or I put my short films and like different skits and stuff, and then obviously stuff like Punjabi Mime through time. Also Kirpa, which is my short film, and then Anarkali, which is our web series.
Great. So on that topic now, Anarkali, Kirpa, ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜੀ short films ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਹ ਬਣਾਈਆਂ ਆ, basically you write the storylines for a lot of these, right? So when do you have time to find, you know, to write this stuff, and then after you write it, then what's the process after that?
Well, I don't personally write them. Actually, I come up with the storyline.
You come up with the storyline.
So I usually come up. Well, Anarkali, it's all Miss Mutta. So Miss Mutta, Rakhi Mutta, who is my director, producer, and writer, she comes up with the storyline for Anarkali, so she takes lead on that.
Great.
But I have the opportunity to co-produce. So anything like we usually come up with, she kind of asks me for my opinion when it comes to Anarkali's storyline.
So your backhand,
and then I also edit the show. So I kind of put the whole piece together and put it out there online. So a lot of people don't know that I actually edit it too. Being the lead is one thing, which is a lot of work, but then actually editing it afterwards, post-production, is a lot of work too.
That's great. So now you're like, you know, on big screen, you know, you're in front of the camera, but over the weekend at VIBC you mentioned something about how you were not confident to come in front of a camera. So why did you have these fears? Is it because your image, you know, you're Punjabi kudi, South Asian, you're female, did that have anything to do with it?
Yeah, for a long time I felt like I couldn't be in front of the camera, only because I didn't see anyone that looked like me in front of the camera. Bollywood is one thing, you know, it's not, we don't really see Punjabi faces in Bollywood, and it has its own different story. It's not the diasporic story. Whereas, you know, Canadian Punjabis, we experience something totally different. You know, our lifestyle is really different. So yeah, there's many similarities, but also it's a lot of differences, like the way we grow up here, how our parents' relationship is with their kids, and it's just a whole different lifestyle. So I felt like I couldn't see myself in Bollywood or Hollywood, and it was really difficult for me to really see myself playing the lead. So when someone like Miss Mutta comes along and it's like, okay, I can see you being Anarkali, that meant the world to me, because I never thought I would get that opportunity.
So how did you overcome that fear? What made you think nahi main kar sakdi haan?
I think when I started surrounding myself with more people who wanted to take the arts as their career and started feeling more confident. I really found myself around a sisterhood of different women that are in the arts. So Rupi Kaur, Raki, Horsepower, all these different women that are really doing stuff in the arts that are confident in it, and now we only support each other to do well. Like Horsepower's music is in Anarkali.
Right,
We're always using her music in Anarkali. Rupi's poetry is in Anarkali. We have like all these different artists in different ways. Like Mani Jastal, who's a designer, her stuff is in Anarkali. Yeah, so like we're always supporting the sisterhood, and I think that's what makes me so much more confident in being in front of the camera.
Great. The jiri Anarkali, that jira character, how is it relatable to real life, like to your real life? Is it?
I think everyone is Anarkali one way or another.
Yes, I saw a lot of me in her too.
I think everyone feels like they've been Anarkali in their life. Like she's always making mistakes and being silly.
Exactly.
And, but I think that's really a part of our real life. You know, we always are hiding our dating life from our parents, or you know, we're being thrown in situations where there's so many rishtas coming our way, and our parents are making us feel like we have to get really married soon, and it's just like accomplishment in our life that we need to get married. But it's like, you know, what about finding ourselves and, you know, really seeing what Anarkali wants? And I think that's what's so beautiful about it, is really a woman trying to find herself.
Wow. And where is this filmed?
Brampton.
In Brampton, right? Okay, that's great.
Brampton, yeah. Well, there's some parts in Toronto, but Brampton.
Okay. There's another a short film that you produced, and it deals a lot with emotional, mental, and sexual abuse. Now, these are all touchy subjects, especially in the Punjabi community. So tell us why you chose to go in that direction, and obviously the name of the film as well.
Ananki is a film about dating violence. So it's something that we often see in our community. Young girls are finding themselves in really difficult situations where they end up in abusive relationships, but because they don't know any better, because of like the stuff that they see in their own households, where they might be seeing their parents also in abusive
and
relationship.
they're thinking it's acceptable.
And they think it's acceptable.
Yeah.
So then they're also hiding these relationships because their parents don't know they're dating. So they don't have anyone to talk to, and they don't really know that they're in this abusive relationship. So they stay in it and they think it's okay. And I think that's something I really wanted to touch on and show that, you know, you're not alone in this, and being able to share their stories, because I know so many of my sisters are in those situations as we speak, and it's something that really needs to be addressed, and show that there are other options out there, and there is another life you can really live.
Yeah. Some of the scenes are really intense. What was the experience and the preparation like for that? Like, how did you put yourself, like, I mean, acting is something where you kind of have to put yourself into the role of, right? And, you know, you can't be in like a bubbly mood and then decide that all of a sudden now, you know, you're going to go through trauma, right? So how was that experience, and how was the prep for it? How did you do it?
It's really difficult. I'm not going to lie. I think it's, a lot of people think it's a lot easier because you're kind of in and out of a camera, and like there's a set and all that, but it wasn't like that at all. We were like shooting each scene over and over again and doing the same emotions again. It's really difficult. That's the thing about acting as well in front of film, is you have to do it over and over again, so many takes of the same thing, and you're crying and you're going through this abuse, and it feels so traumatic, and it was really difficult for me. It was probably the most difficult film I've ever had to do, but it was worth it. And I think because the entire set was all females except for the main character, it was so nice that there was like this comfort, and like everyone was supporting each other, and it felt like I had my family there.
Wow, that must have been really intense. And to think of the people that are really going through it in real life, you know, and what the hardships that they are having. Now, you do a lot of, obviously you have the roles in like a lot of Punjabi movies or like the South Asian, but do you think outside of that, like say Hollywood, there are a lot of roles for females of color?
I think if we find more writers of color, that it'll only now be authentic to having more women of color shooting more stuff that's more authentic to our people. So I think if we start having more writers and producers and directors that are Punjabi, or just South Asian in general, it'll be easier for us to get more roles for us, because then you're actually telling a truthful story, and that's where it really comes from. I mean, at the end of the day, there are little roles here and there, and they're usually the side roles of like a taxi driver, or you know, a bus driver or whatever.
Or the 7-Eleven guy.
The 7-Eleven guy, you know. But we have like people like Mindy Kaling, who has her own show, which is so amazing because she writes, produces, and directs it.
Yeah.
And she's acting in it, which is amazing. But then again, like I would want more South Asian folks to be in front of the camera, especially in Hollywood, because our stories are not being told.
Right? Yeah, there's just so much more room for mainstream media. That's great. Okay, well, we're going to go for a short break and then we're going to come back and talk more about your journey. So up on the ਛੋਟੀ ਜਿਹੀ break ਤੋਂ ਵਾਪਸ ਤੇ ਫਿਰ ਆਪਾਂ ਹੋਰ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਜਾਰੀ ਰੱਖਦੇ ਹਾਂ K-Ray ਦੇ ਨਾਲ. Welcome back to Our Time. ਤੇ ਅੱਜ ਸਾਡੀ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਅਸੀਂ ਕੰਟੀਨਿਊ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ K-Ray ਦੇ ਨਾਲ. So K-Ray, women empowerment, women that are going through struggle. A lot of girls look up to you, probably because you're a role model for your confidence, your bravery, your realism. So a lot of girls, they can relate to you. You know, ਕਾਫੀ ਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਵੀ, you know, they see themselves in you, right? They see Anarkali in everyone, right? So what advice do you have ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਭਾਵੇਂ young generation ਦੀਆਂ, even the older ones, that are struggling to get themselves out there, whether it's in any aspect of life? What advice do you have for girls?
I think it's interesting because like this past week that I've been in Vancouver, I've heard so many young women come up to me saying, how are you doing this in Toronto? There's a sisterhood in Toronto. We wish we had that too. And I just want to say it wasn't easy finding that. I also work in a male-dominated industry as well, and it was difficult for me to find women that wanted to do the same things and were actually interested in the arts and felt like that could be their career, because it's tough to make that decision.
It is.
And especially, you know, at the end of the day, your family isn't always going to support it right away. You have to really make them and show them that it's possible, and now my family is starting to accept it and understand it. It wasn't always like that, and I think people need to see that as well, because I think they see it, they're like, oh no, but like her family's there. And no, it wasn't.
It
always
was not.
Like
you
that.
had your struggle.
Exactly, I had my struggles.
You had to pay the price.
I had to pay my dues, and I've been doing it a lot. I used to do a lot of free work, and it wasn't easy. But you have to, if you really feel like this is your purpose and you really want to do it. Again, our existence is so temporary that what is the point of us like just waiting for us like another day to do something? Let's do it today, you know? You live in the present, be able to see where you can actually do stuff. I'm not going to say that it's easy to just drop everything and then go ahead and follow your dreams, but I think day by day, taking baby steps even to work towards your dreams is something. At least if you're even like if you wanted to go into acting, I would say, hey, take an acting workshop. See if you even like it, and then you can maybe even pursue it in different ways, however you want to.
Yeah, because you might not realize it's not for you as well,
exactly.
Right? Yeah.
So I think if you really want to do something, we are constantly living in fear. It's just in our nature to live in fear, and I think as women, we always are like, let's do it for the family, or we have to do it for everyone else.
Make other people happy.
We always are kind of pushing ourselves away and abandoning ourselves. I think it's time that we really take care of ourselves, listen to what we want to do, listen to our heart, and really go for what it is that we want to strive for.
Great work. So what can we expect from K-Ray and the Sisterhood soon?
I think many things. There's going to be much more short films. There's going to be more web series online on YouTube. There's going to be a feature film. So there's in the works. There's a lot of work that's going to be done, and I'm excited to share.
So ਆਪਾਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਇੰਟਰਵਿਊ ਦੀ ਸ਼ੁਰੂਆਤ ਚ YouTube ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕੀਤੀ ਸੀਗੀ. YouTube ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹੋ ਜਿਹਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪੇਸ਼ ਕੀਤਾ YouTube ਤੇ ਜਿਹਦੇ ਅੱਜ ਉੱਤੇ 2 ਮਿਲੀਅਨ ਤੋਂ ਉੱਤੇ views ਹੋਇਆ. And it's my personal favorite because when I saw it, I was just blown out of, you know, out of my mind, because I was like, you know, it's very interesting. So you have something on YouTube, and it's called Mind Through Time. So it's a Punjabi. It's you and 2 other girls. You're sitting in a car. ਕਾਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬੈਠਿਆਂ ਨੇ ਇਹ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਵੀਡੀਓ ਬਣਾਈ ਹੈ YouTube ਤੇ ਜਿਹਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ 2 ਮਿਲੀਅਨ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਧ view ਹੋਏ. Did you ever expect that, and can you tell me where that idea came from? And we only have 2 minutes left.
Okay, so quickly, Miss Mutta, again, she came up with the idea. She's like, hey, K-Ray, I know you like to dance in the car a lot. And I'm like, yes, I do always do that. If you watch all my vlogs, I'm always doing that. And she's like, well, I have this idea, because there's a three white girls that did it in Australia.
Yeah.
And they called it Mime Through Time as well.
Yeah.
But she's like, it would be super cool if we did Punjabi Mime Through Time. And
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
I called up my best friend Kiran and Harleen,
Yeah.
and we just came in the car. We had got our makeup artist, our wardrobe stylist,
Yeah.
and there you go. We
There you
picked
go.
all the songs. And
How'd you guys pick the songs? Who picked all the songs?
Rakhi did, and
Yeah.
Mani Jasso, and then we studied those music videos,
Yeah.
and we were like, okay, I came up with the choreography, and
Nice.
it was amazing how we put it all together.
It was definitely amazing.
Yeah.
We knew viral Hui video,
Yeah.
and I think people loved it. And I'm definitely going to share it today because it was obviously one of my favorite ones.
Yeah.
And you've done more as well. You've done Bollywood ones. I know you've done some other ones, but this one really took the spotlight.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, it was great chatting with you. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
We wish you the best of luck. And you know what? Like, you know, cheers to sisterhood. And hopefully, you know, you're able to come out here more in BC
Yes.
and maybe promote some of these workshops that you've done that were a great success.
Yeah.
So I'm going to let you introduce your YouTube video as well.
Okay, here you go. Here's Punjabi Mime Through Time. Thank you to everyone that's ever shared it and watched it. We really want to embrace our Punjabi culture. This is your girl, K-Ray. Thank you.
शिकारी पानी में तेरे ना यारी